because we are
Oh yeah, perfect. I was gonna say.
we are officially live.
I'll send it to the boys.
Sent to the Goon Squad.
Yeah, you got it.
All right, how have you been?
Not bad, dude. How are you doing?
You know, allergies are getting me right now, but
Yeah, I'm with you.
I woke up
Killing
like
me.
my left nostril was to just go in and out of being plugged all day today, and I was like, dude, what is going on?
It reminds me of my throat, just kind of like not like a bad sore throat, but just like nagging. Ooh. All right, I got my 3.
Perfect. You gotta set the go lives, you know.
Yeah.
Trying to get this new YouTube channel up to 20 subs for the end of the season.
Oh, let's go.
You know, it's I mean, it's not a lot, but
Hold on. There we go.
yeah. Mute that. Don't forget to like and sub.
I did. You're good.
All right.
I just copied the link from what you sent me.
Yeah, you just copy and
Cool.
paste it.
Send it to Colin.
He'll go full Eagles.
I'll send it to this kid too.
All right.
I'm good whenever you are to.
Perfect.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have
yeah.
sent the go live, so we are officially going to be underway with the third edition of this season's Don't Sleep on Special Teams Simulcast.
Let's go.
So, first and foremost, I'm sure you heard the early banter for anyone who may be going back and watching this. It's an old coworker of mine, Jake, coming on the show. He's a familiar face from seasons past.
Yes, sir.
It's gonna be a fun time for sure. I'm amped. We're gonna talk some football here. So, first off, how's your fantasy team doing? Let's go that route.
I mean, we got a couple 1-1s and a 0-2, so
Okay.
rough start one spot, but we're building. We're building.
So I am in the big league that I always talk about. I'm 2-0. We actually have a Hall of Records. It's a Google Doc sheet. And I was bored Monday night, and I was going through and checking it out. We have the Hall of Records. My lifetime. Let's see, career. My lifetime week 1 record is 9-5. No, 10-5. And my lifetime week 2 record is 12-2. So it's every year I'm just like, if I win week 1, it's like, oh great, I'm starting 2-0. But if I lose, I was like, oh, I'll probably be 1-1. But
That's impressive. Seeing you never really know what's going on the first 2 weeks. You got to feel your way around it.
yeah,
so.
absolutely. I always have a strong draft. Whether it's a healthy draft, that's beyond me. But
I was lucky enough to get Kamara in 2 leagues this past week, so
okay.
that was what really was my downer in my 2 losses.
I thought it was gonna be a Chris Mara.
Nice, yeah.
I thought it was gonna be a
That
Chris
seemed
Mara.
like
I thought he was going for 6, dude. He had 3 by the second quarter.
Yeah, it was, and he was good last year, but not like that. So it was kind of out of nowhere.
Absolutely. But all right. So anywho, let's start off and talk about our 2 matchups. Jake, if you want to start the floor, talk about the first game that you wanted to talk about, and we will.
I mean, we'll stay on topic. I'll go right into that Saints Cowboys game since we're talking about Kamara.
Oh, absolutely. Let's go.
And his 4 touchdowns. This was a game that I thought was a lock when I took the Cowboys -6. I thought there was no way in the world they don't win this game by at least a touchdown. And it was just a disaster from there, apparently. They had almost no running game, which I guess you could have expected with them not really addressing the running back position this offseason, just signing old-ass Zeke back. And the offense just couldn't get anything going, and Derek Carr is a god for the first, 4 weeks of the season, per usual.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it, but he always does it, and he'll fall off at some point. But this wasn't why I picked the game, but I did see a stat today that every election year, Derek Carr has his best seasons. So Derek Carr
Huh?
stock through the roof for the rest of this season anyway. At this
Yeah,
point.
he's a free agent. Actually, I should probably pick him up.
Yeah, yeah. I think 2016 he had his lowest interception total, and 2020 he had like 4,200 yards, 30-ish, 28 to 30 touchdowns, 9 picks. They were calling for him for like MVP midseason. I don't know what it is about election years and Derek Carr, but he he balls out during those seasons. But I mean, even looking at his stats from this game, he didn't do a whole lot. It was really Kamara kind of carrying the team because there was only four receivers with catches in this game. But Rashid Shaheed has been incredible. I think his stat line for the season might end up being like 21 catches, 17 touchdowns. He just catches bombs for touchdowns every game.
Yeah, it's dude. You have to wonder if this is gonna just be he's gonna be able to maintain this or not. Just like this,
Right.
he just has that. He might only have 3 catches a game, but he's just gonna have that like 50-yard bomb every week. Like, is that gonna happen, or is he just gonna disappear for like 4 weeks at a time?
Yeah, yeah. Who knows? And Olave was okay this past week, but is he gonna kind of step it up too? He was kind of slow week 1. He still hasn't reached the end zone in these first couple weeks. Only 4 catches this past week, which I mean was this team high, but there wasn't much to go around. So he's a guy to kind of keep your eye on to see if he's gonna step it up. And the tight ends had almost no impact on this game. Taysom Hill had 1 catch for 1 yard, if you really consider him a tight end. He had 3 carries for 18 yards. And nothing from Jawan Johnson, nothing from Foster Moreau, and they both had touchdowns week 1. So picking Saints players outside of Kamara and Carr and I guess probably Olave is kind of a crapshoot. It's just kind of a hit or miss. Get lucky.
Yeah.
If you pick the right guy.
I will say, I think Raheed Shaheed might be a safe bet just with how many injuries are going around in the league right now. I think,
true, so far.
Given how many injuries there are, he might be a safe flex spot player because it's like you're not going to expect a lot out of a flex. But if he catches that bomb, he's gonna win you that week.
Yeah, or if you got a bunch of bye weeks that you're trying to replace, he might be a good guy to slide in that spot.
Absolutely. All right.
You want to go into your first one? Can I go back and forth? You want me?
Yeah. I'll go into it. This is kind of funny because I talked about them last week. I'm gonna talk about them again this week. The Browns. Particularly the Browns Jags game, particularly the Cleveland Browns. This was just a sloppy game to begin with overall. D Watt doesn't have it. He's once again he got cursed by the Browns. He doesn't have it. He's not fantasy. He's not worth fantasy unless you're like absolutely desperate for a player.
You gotta hope he gets a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, you gotta pray for that rushing touchdown. Speaking of rushing, what is up with them not playing Jerome Ford? Dude averaged 9.1 yards a tote, but they decided to absolutely hammer down Donta Foreman, who only averaged 3. He has 7. Jerome Ford 7 for 64. Donta Foreman 14 for 42. It's like, what are the Browns doing? Although I will say Jerry Jeudy receiving wise kind of had a decent day. It was raining, could have been better, but Jerry Jeudy 5 for 73. That's not terrible.
Yeah, I was wondering if he was going to have a resurgence going to the Browns and see if he could kind of step it up. And so far, not too bad. And yeah, I was surprised when I looked at waivers this morning and I saw Deonta Foreman at like the top of the projected running backs not on a roster. I was like, what's he been doing?
Yeah, just like. I mean, this makes those.
What they got against Pierre Strong?
Yeah, what do they got? And what do they have against Jerome Ford? Like, he was their one positive from week 1.
Yeah,
and they're like, no,
last year too.
Yeah, and they're like, you know what? I'll put you in the doghouse just because you, just for no reason.
Yeah, I was surprised you picked this game because it was kind of a tough game to watch.
No, it absolutely is was a tough game to watch. It's just I have a lot of stock in the Browns this season. Colin goes Arian Foster or Adrian Peterson this week. I don't know why, but it keeps lagging. And then also like my. Oh, I think that's probably why I don't have it working because I don't have the video up. Because the chat's not working on my other monitor, but I have it working on one monitor. Okay, a little distracted, but we'll get back to get back to the talk. Um, so yeah, and then like on the Jaguar side of it, this is a team I was out on from like week one. Was the Jaguars? I thought they're just gonna be. I just thought they were just gonna be a bust off the rip. Um, I mean, Trevor Lawrence for 220 passing yards. He had some rush. He had two scampers for 45 yards.
Yeah, you have one long one in there.
Yeah, but I mean, Travis Etienne, 13 for 52 and a touchdown. The only salvage was that touchdown. This Brian Thomas kid caught two bombs, and
He's been solid.
yeah, and but
Very
like
solid.
outside of that, they didn't really have anyone else doing anything.
No, Christian Kirk has been nowhere to be found.
Oh, non-existent. One catch for -2 yards.
Yeah.
Okay then.
And then the surprise of Evan Ingram getting hurt in pregame.
Allegedly pulled a Reggie Bush.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, no, it was real interesting.
Well, Brenton Strange, sneaky decent game in his replacement though.
Yeah. I was gonna say I don't even know who Brenton Strange was. Three for 65. That's not bad.
Not too bad. Yeah, he's the backup tight end that probably played most of the snaps.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, Carroll's the other one.
But yeah, so that's pretty much what I want to talk about. Primarily just to get off my chest the Jerome Ford, because my fantasy team name is Sticker Price for Ford because I took him in the 6th round because I just wanted Jerome Ford this year, and then they decided to go and be like, yeah, we're not going to play him, which was very confusing.
I'm a Nick Chubb stash guy, but
yeah. Oh, I know someone who stashed him, but he won't be back till at least week 8. So it's like, I was like, at least I can get half a fantasy season out of one guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But all right, if you want to talk about your next game, you're more than welcome to.
Absolutely. I had the resurgence of Sammy D over with the Vikings over the 49ers. I don't think anybody saw this coming.
No. Except if outside of Minnesota, I don't think anyone saw this coming.
I don't think Minnesota saw this coming. I mean, I don't think once J.J. McCarthy went down, I think they lost a lot of hope in what might happen with this season. Sam Darnold was throwing pick sixes in training camp, and nobody had any faith, but he really showed up. He made some plays that were surprising. There was a throw down the seam in triple coverage he made that kind of went under the radar. It was like a 25-yard throw right down the seam between a safety and a corner, which was incredible. Obviously, the play everyone knows, the bomb to Justin Jefferson for 92 yards. I mean, that thing had to have had at least
97
yards on it.
97-yard touchdown.
97, yeah. I think of the Phillip Rivers clip, the 90-yard touchdown.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I was just like, I had Niners D, so when I saw that, I was like, no.
That's tough, yeah.
But
I don't even have any stock in him. Is Jordan Addison hurt?
He is
not playing.
Jordan Addison is hurt.
Score.
Yeah, he missed. He was out. He was ruled out.
Okay, yeah, because I know that Jalen Naylor in general, I think, was kind of going to be the favorite to be the wide receiver 3 anyway, and he's had some decent impact in the first couple of weeks. Touchdown this past week, but he was kind of battling with Trent Sherfield and Brandon Powell, who they seem to not be the guys over him. He seems to be the one that's getting most of the play there, so he's a good flex play, kind of like we were saying with Rashid Shaheed.
Yep.
More of a solid receptions and some yards guy instead of the big play threat. But Brandon Powell could be that big play guy if they decide to play him more. But or throw him the ball more, I should say. But he didn't have a ton of impact. And Johnny Munt hasn't had a ton of impact either in replacement of what's his face, T.J. Hawkinson.
Yeah, them losing Hawk at the end of the season and beginning of this season. It's definitely a huge loss for them because he was their gotta have it guy. So that was tough.
No Hawk, no JJ McCarthy, no Jordan Addison, and they're still beating probably the best team in the NFC.
Yeah, absolutely. But you also, on the other side of the ball, a lot of injuries. Debo went down, Kittle went down, but came back. There was, I think, one or two. I think they lost their I think they lost their right tackle as well. I could be
Yeah,
wrong.
isn't it McGlinchey? I don't think he's even been playing yet
Yeah.
this season.
So they're
And then
uh,
CMC already
yeah,
down.
obviously CMC.
Yeah.
It's just like their defense is healthy. Their defense actually still kind of salvaged fantasy wise. They had 8 points,
Oh wow, that's actually
4
good
sacks, an
progress.
interception,
On
and
one
and,
pick, yeah.
and a
Through
fumble
two
recovery.
Through 2 picks. Brock Purdy had sneaky 300-yard game.
Yeah.
Didn't
So
even realize it. I mean, Debo got hurt, but he still had 8 for 110.
yeah,
Still had 7 for 76 in the score.
15 fantasy points. So like Devo did his job, but he got hurt
Yeah.
and he's gonna miss multiple weeks now.
Yeah, Ayuk been on a milk carton also. I mean, 4 for 43 is not a terrible game, but it's not Ayuk
Yeah. Well,
quality.
everyone's going to pick up Jawan Jennings, but I think it's just gonna be the Ayuk show. Ayuk and Kittle. It's like
You'd think.
Jennings. Yeah, he's had played well, but like
Yeah.
I don't
What
know.
about Chris Conley now?
Yeah. Like they just have so many weapons, so like I wasn't like gonna run to the races to try and pick up Juwan Jennings just because I knew they just have they have other weapons. So it's just like
Yeah.
let
I
them
don't
be.
see him on the box score, but if Kittle is hurt, I see Eric Saubert had a catch or two.
Well, Kittle got carted off the field,
I know, came
but
back.
then came back like a true wrestling fan.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Crazy.
Literally. But what I was gonna say is I know they had signed Logan Thomas in the offseason. I don't know if he's healthy or made the roster or what the deal is.
Logan Thomas.
Now.
Logan Thomas on the Lions?
That's what this says.
I was gonna say, isn't Logan Thomas like one?
No. He's on the 49ers.
Isn't he like one bad tackle away from being a puddle of mud?
Probably at this point.
Yeah.
But no, he is on the 49ers. So if Kittle's injury is substantial, that's another guy to look at too. He could be a red zone threat.
Well, like Monday night, Debo just instantly put as doubtful. Not even questionable, just doubtful. Like, yeah, he's gonna miss a few weeks. But
wow. Yeah, I mean.
but the problem is you can't IR him right now, which is weird. But,
that's the thing I was gonna say. Cooper Kupp is just doubtful. Like, put him as out so I can IR him. Come on.
yeah, like I'm losing a spot. But
Yeah.
yeah. Anything else you want to add about this game?
Yeah, I would just say, I mean, Jordan Mason, 100 yards exactly, so he's kind of popped off in his first 2 games as a starting running back.
Absolutely.
And then the surprise to me was Ty Chandler, 10 carries for 82 yards. Sneaky good game out of him after he kind of didn't do anything week 1. It was the Aaron Jones show, and they
I think
week.
Aaron Jones had like a nagging.
I think you're right.
Yeah, because he's questionable for the hip issue, which I mean, my whole fantasy team's questionable right now. Njoku, Debo, Aaron Jones, Nico Collins, like it's like what is going on, team? But yeah, a lot of injuries, that game in a dome.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's all you got. I'll go on to my next game.
Absolutely, yeah. Jump in.
All right, Bucks Lions. For if you watch this game, which I've sent you Snapchats, because the setup I'm watching this year is the same as last year. We have like 6 to 8 monitors, and we watch every game. We are in depth. However, low scoring affair, but the game we watched the game. It looks like that Rams Chiefs game from like 5 years ago. You would have thought it would have been like a 52-48 score.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Bucks upset in air quotes. I kind of expected the Bucks to win this game, but they were dogs. The Bucks beat the Lions. Baker looking like Michael Vick on one play.
Couple things. He's running the ball a lot.
Yeah,
he led the team in rushing actually.
Yeah, so he was 12 for 19 passing with 185, touchdown and a pick, but he was 5 for 34 rushing with a rushing touchdown. Bucky Irving, Rashad White, not really much to show for Rashad White. Sneaky bad game.
Yeah, he got hurt too. I think he hammy or a groin. It was a groin injury, so he got hurt too.
Yeah, there's a kid in my league who has CMC, Rashad White, and one other running back who got hurt, but he has Ramondre as well. So it's like, I guess there's a good thing to draft 4 running backs.
Yeah.
It was a Godwin show. The Godwin show.
Yeah.
7 for 117, a touchdown. Mike Evans 3 for 42. But that's gonna happen. They're gonna flip flop with whose day it is. So you just gotta take your punches with that tandem.
Yeah. I was high on Godwin coming into the season, and I drafted him in 0 leagues. And
sometimes that's how it goes.
Yeah.
But the Lions side, Jared Goff had 300 passing yards.
Yeah, he had a good game and 2 picks.
No, he didn't. He only had 11.85 fantasy points.
Threw 55 passes.
Like, how? You have to throw 55 passes, 300 yards. How do you only have 11 fantasy points? So I was high on Goff this season because 13 of his first 14 games are in a dome. And he's been terrible so far.
Yeah, I don't remember what his stat line was from week 1, but
it wasn't that much better.
Yeah, no touchdowns in this game will definitely.
He had 217 passing touchdown and a pick.
Yeah,
the week 1.
I mean, looking at this box score though, you would never know that the Lions lost if you took away the score.
Yeah, because Amon-Ra St. Brown had a day. Jamison Williams has been showing that he's a legit guy. He just needs to make sure he doesn't get suspended or hurt.
Yeah.
Demont all around had a salvageable day. Jahmyr Gibbs had a good rushing day.
Yeah, 6.5 yards of carry is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's not a bad tote at all. But yeah, I mean, Sam Laporta very quiet this season so far. He's gonna have a breakout game, I'm sure, but he's been very quiet so far.
He has been, yeah. I don't have any stock in him. I didn't waste a high draft pick on a tight end on him, luckily. But
I mean,
I'm sure people are very frustrated seeing that what he's been doing, and they could have got Hunter Henry probably off of waivers with 9 catches or whatever.
He had like 8 in the first quarter.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's honestly, but Amon-Ra's hurt. I mean, I would say right now, out of this matchup, Gibbs and Montgomery, the running backs, and Amon-Ra, but he might be hurt.
He had something like a hammy or something like that.
Yeah, Baker, Godwin, and Evans. Outside of
Jalen McMillan's been sneaky good too. He had a touchdown in week 1.
Yeah,
I think he's kind of solidified himself as the third receiver over.
Yeah, he only had 1 catch this game, but also at the same time, they really didn't need to pass the ball a whole bunch this game.
Yeah, he only threw 19. I mean, he threw 19 passes, but then he also had 5 dropbacks that he was sacked by Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, he got like what, sacked like 9 times,
something like that. I know Aiden Hutchinson had 4.5.
No, he had over that. He had 4.5 in the first quarter.
I thought he had 4.5 in the. No, he couldn't have had 4.5 in the more than 4.5 in the whole game. Yeah, 4.5 that game. And he only got sacked 5 times. It was 4.5 from Hutchinson, and then the other half was Levi Onwuzurike.
Sorry, I had to blow my nose, and then my wire got unplugged. Allergies, gotta love it.
He was only sacked 5 times. It was 4.5 from Hutchinson, and then a half from another guy.
All right, I thought there was way more sacks, but
yeah. But sneaky looking good right now. I took before the season started future on Aiden Hutchinson, 15 plus sacks.
Yeah, it's looking really good. But yeah, so those are the highlighted games. Let's go into our studs and duds of the week. The 2 studs, 1 dud. I'll start, and then I'll start with my studs and my dud, and then you can kind of go with yours. So my first stud is Kyler Murray. This is the 3rd season I've been higher on Justin Fields than I have for Kyler Murray. So I got to give him his flowers. He had an amazing game. He had in his interview after week 1, he goes, "It's not my job to throw to Marvin Harrison Jr." Someone had to have pulled him over and said, "It's literally your job to throw to him," because he had 266 passing yards and 2 touchdowns, and I think both of those were to Marv. And then he had 5 rushes for 59 yards. I don't think he played the whole game, which understandably so, just because they were dominating. Mm-hmm. My other stud of the week is Minnesota D. 6 sacks, interception, and a fumble recovery. 16 fantasy points. That will win you some weeks. If you get over 10 from a defense, especially at the 16 mark, that could win you a week. And my dud, who I was off on from the start of the season, I had him last year. I traded him away, which helped me out immensely because I almost won it with the guy I got from him, but I lost by 3 points in the championship. Still a tough one to swallow. But Amari Cooper, he only had 3 catches for 11 yards, and I don't think he did much better the week before. He's been god awful this season, Amari Cooper.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Flacco was getting in the ball, but Deshaun Watson doesn't seem to be able to. So I think that's kind of been his kryptonite to this point.
No, absolutely. So honestly, if you're an Amari Cooper owner, I would try and trade him now while it just with his namesake alone might be able to sway some people. Like, it's early, I'm sure I'll do it. I don't think he's gonna do it. I think he's gonna just be a bum all season.
Yeah, no, I'm not too high. I did draft him in a league that's three receivers in your lineup, so I was just kind of trying to get deep in receiver, and
Yeah,
not great.
makes sense. All right, who is your first stud of last week?
My first stud, I think to no one's surprise, is Calvin Ridley.
He had an
Kind of waking up as
amazing touchdown catch.
Yeah, the touchdown catch that he made, all-pro corner, Sauce Gardner. Looks sorry. Andy had a rushing touchdown on an end around too, which was sneaky. It's not really something you think is in Calvin Ridley's bag.
He can do it.
That like gadget reverse type guy. So it was cool to see him thrown into the mix like that. And he had 25 fantasy points, I believe, PPR, which is a huge game for him.
Oh yeah.
In a game where there wasn't a ton of points scored by the Titans, so it was nice to see him have a big game there. My second stud is going to be Austin Seibert. The Washington Commanders kicker scored all of the points for the Commanders in a game where the Giants scored 3 touchdowns and the Commanders scored none. He kicked 6 field goals, 21 fantasy points I think he had. I think some of them were over 40, 50 yards, whatever it was. So huge game for him. If they continue to not put the ball in the end zone, he's definitely worth picking up. Because as a kicker, putting up 15 plus fantasy points can help win a fantasy matchup some weeks.
Honestly, just double digits out of a kicker will help you win weeks.
Yeah. And then my dud is DeAndre Swift. I'd say 2 straight weeks in a row he's been a dud.
Yeah.
He's just not getting the ball. When he does, he's not averaging more than like 1.5 yards a carry. He's non-existent in the passing game. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on there. If Caleb Williams just wants to prove he can sling the ball downfield, he doesn't want to dump off for whatever reason and let DeAndre Swift do something with it. Maybe they're playing Khalil Herbert on passing downs. I don't know, but he's just not getting the ball and he's not getting the job done. So he'll be sitting on my bench this week.
Yeah, it's crazy because DeAndre Swift replaced Kerryon Johnson, and they're having the same exact career trajectory, just non-existent. Yeah.
I did not expect the Kerryon Johnson name drop in this episode tonight, so you got me with that one.
You know, I got to rear back and get one there.
Sneaky kind of dud I was thinking too, but I didn't want to throw too much on him because he's kind of not a huge option on the offense anymore as Tank Dell.
Yeah.
Has been a little disappointing. I feel like people were going to be really high on him coming into this year because he was so good for a stretch last year before he got hurt, but bringing in Mixon and Diggs to the mix, along with already Nico Collins and Dalton Schultz being there with him, has kind of definitely hurt his fantasy value.
No, I agree with you. I was a little iffy because he had a bad injury and then he got shot. Like I was just like, I don't know. It's like I was like, I think he'll be out there. He might have a few good games, but I was higher on Nico Collins than him just because he's probably still not 100%. He's probably healthy, but not 100%.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
But all right, so that is our studs and duds of the week. We're gonna move a little bit forward to our bold predictions for this upcoming week. We can also add on a little bit if we want. My bold prediction, which you could bet it, but I don't know how it's gonna go. My bold prediction is I think the Saints beat the Eagles.
I'm with you on that. I was looking at that as a potential over.
Yeah.
Because, neither of those the Saints defense hasn't been terrible, but the Eagles defense hasn't been able to stop anything.
Yeah, they got
up 40 points.
They got cooed on Monday night.
Yeah.
But so like I don't like the spreads, the over-unders, the money lines. I don't know. I mean, I guess you could say money line because I would like them to win, but that's not really a game I want to touch betting wise. But just like in like a pick'em league, I would pick the Saints to win.
Yeah, no, that's fair. They are favored this week too. They're home. I don't know if the Eagles. Well, AJ Brown's hurt. I don't know if he's gonna play this week, but
yeah. Also, Who is that guy? Like, so Dallas got his share, but in the beginning there was that like Stanley Calcium guy or whatever, that random tight end.
Oh, Calcaterra? Grant Calcaterra?
Yeah, Grant Calcaterra. I don't even know his name, but like, why was he getting so many like targets? He had like 5 targets and 2 catches in the first half. It's like,
right.
why aren't you throwing at Dallas Goedert? He's like the known like vet guy. Like he could probably get you 7 or 8 yards a catch. I mean, he ended up with 12.7 yards like per catch. Like,
I mean, the defense, they were probably, not that I couldn't tell you who the Falcons, I mean, they got good safeties, but I couldn't tell you who their linebackers are that would be covering
yeah,
Dallas Goedert, but they must have been bracketing him.
yeah,
In some
absolutely.
capacity. And I mean, Devonta Smith is good, but he also weighs 15 pounds, so you just get a jam on him. So
Yeah.
you double Goddard, and then they got to find somewhere else to go.
Oh yeah, but yeah, that's my bold prediction of the week. Let me hear. You got one? Let me hear what you got.
Yeah, I'm looking through right now. I think I'm not gonna say that they're gonna
Even
win.
even if it's like this like Bills defense 2 scores. Yeah, it could be a bold prediction too.
Well, here, how about this? We'll call this a bold prediction. I'm gonna say 2 touchdowns from the Panthers.
Whoa.
With Andy Dalton at the helm. I think they're gonna score some points with a veteran quarterback running the show.
Yeah, expect Thielen to probably have a bounce back game.
Thielen, maybe even a little Deontay Johnson action.
Yeah, Thielen might pull a Hunter Henry, have 8 catches in the first quarter, and then disappear because he's too old and tired.
Yeah. I don't know if they're gonna win, but I think they might compete a little bit with the Raiders this week. Putting Andy Dalton in, maybe just a fresh, fresh voice in the huddle.
Fresh voice in the huddle, and even like Adam Thielen said, it's an offensive issue. So it sounds like they're rallying behind Andy Dalton. So it's like they might come out guns blazing. I actually picked up the Raiders kicker, so I'm hoping that even if it's just like 5 PATs and like a 30-yard field goal, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I just feel like they're gonna score points.
Yeah.
Like the opponent, they're gonna let up points. They might, whether it's field goals or touchdowns. But I'm just hoping. I only got 4 points out of Jason Sanders last week, so I got a feeling this. Carlson's been kicking a lot, so I think he's gonna keep it up.
He's got a strong leg too, so you can get those 50-yarders out of him.
Oh my god!
Points.
If you go back
Raiders defense isn't good either.
If you go back and watch last week's cast, week 1 there was 23 field goals made from over 50 yards.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I got a good stat for you. I don't know if you saw this one, but I saw it today. Kickers so far this year are 35 of 37.
Oh yeah.
The 2 misses.
Oh, we know who it is.
Justin Tucker.
Yeah, Justin's not tucking him in and kissing him goodnight anymore.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I thought that was crazy.
Yeah, I did see that, and I was like, well, I'm glad I kind of, because I almost took him, but then I went like Njoku, and I was like, I'll just get him in the next one. And him and Aubrey went, and I was like, I guess I'm gonna have to take some other kicker. So it's kind of funny that happened because I would be pissed.
Yeah.
If I was a Justin Tucker owner, I'd be pissed because he's supposed to be like automatic from 50.
Right.
But he's just not.
The first field goal kicked in this season, and then I don't know where he missed another one. It wasn't week 1. I didn't watch much of him last week, but.
All right. Well, let's pivot over to the week 3 bet of the week. My week 3 bet of the week is Houston, Minnesota. I'm betting the over at 46. It is minus 112, but I just feel like that's going to be a 33-27 game.
Yeah, I like that. I was looking at that one too, and I was like, I could see these teams scoring a little bit on each other here.
Yeah, so that's my bet of the week. What's your bet of the week?
I got a sneaky prop. I kind of liked tomorrow night. I like KJ Osborne, 25 plus receiving yards. He's been the most targeted receiver on the Patriots. And I think he's had 30 plus yards in both of these last 2 games. And
what are the odds for that bet?
Plus 150.
Wow.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was like, I feel like this is too good to be true. I mean,
I'll
probably be wrong.
He can get that on 2 passes.
He could get it. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that one seemed like a sneaky. I mean, you could really, I guess, take, who knows, maybe they target Pop Douglas more this week because he was upset.
Yeah.
From last week, but I don't know. KJ Osborne seems to have some sort of connection with Jacoby a little bit anyway because he keeps looking his way.
Yeah, and he was making some good catches or good attempts to catch. Like
Yeah.
there was a
Yeah.
few catches that like, wait, KJ's catching that? Like,
Yeah.
you're like,
Or you
okay,
forget he's on the roster, and you're like, who's two? Oh yeah, KJ Osborne.
yeah. So I do like that bet, especially at 150. I feel like you gotta
Yeah.
hammer that bet.
Yeah. And
Um,
then if I'm picking a game, I'll go all the way to. We got 2 Monday night games this week, which is fun.
yeah, that's
But
really
the
fun.
earlier one, Bills -5 against the Jaguars. The Jaguars seem like dog food right now. The Bills defense hasn't been great, but I think they can beat that team by a touchdown.
Yeah, they probably will. I mean, just Josh Allen alone might have more touchdowns than the Jags.
Here's another stat I saw today: Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, same draft, right?
Yeah.
Who do you think has more rushing touchdowns between the two?
Oh, Josh Allen by a lot,
He has
probably.
55. Lamar Jackson has 29.
Oh yeah, I figure.
Huge discrepancy. I was surprised by that.
Yeah, because Lamar had his rushing touchdowns came in his first 2 seasons, like the bulk of them. Josh has just consistently been getting like one more rushing touchdown each season, so he's just been building up. So yeah, no, I like that. Before we go into our 3-leg parlays of the week, the 3-way 3-leg, you know, a little 3-way beef action.
Absolutely.
We're going to backpedal a bit to last week's bets. So the bold predictions which we had, which are not betting wise, but I'm keeping track. So my bold prediction was Jets win by 20 plus. That didn't happen. I was wrong. And then my co-host Tony, who is obviously not on this week, his prediction was Eagles win by 2+ touchdowns over the Falcons Monday. Primetime Kirk. Turns out that was wrong too. However, when it comes to betting, we were 2 for 4. My Browns money line and Tony's Bucks plus 7.5. Browns money line was plus 124 at the time of the bet, and Bucks plus 7.5 was minus 115 at the time of the bet. Those hit. However, our 3-way parlays did not hit, both of them. So up to date, because I'm also keeping track, bet of the weeks and parlays, bet $1 each for that, and then see where we're at. On the season, going 2 for 4 on these bets, we have currently $1.25 in the bank account. So we put $4 in. Yeah, we put $4 in and bet it. After week 1, we were at 86 cents. After week 2, with what we won from week 1 and week 2, we're at $1.25. So moving forward to week 3, here's what my 3-way parlay is, because this is gonna hit. Its first leg is Raiders -5 at minus 110. Jordan Mason over 89.5 rushing yards. Why did I say yards? Don't know. Rushing yards at minus 120. And Jameson Williams 60+ receiving yards at plus 130. That parlay combined is a plus 705.
Wow.
So
I like it.
I am a real big fan of this. Those are all, I feel like, pretty attainable lines that I feel like Raiders should be able to win by 5 points against the Panthers.
Yeah.
And Jordan Mason's been averaging over that per game. And Jameson Williams also has been averaging over that per game. So I think those are all 3 of them are pretty attainable.
Yeah, no, I like that. And the odds are on that are good, plus 700.
Yeah.
Higher than the odds I ended up with mine, so
Yeah.
for sure.
Let me hear what your 3 legs are for your 3-way parlay.
Absolutely. I picked 2 from the same game, and I didn't even realize it, but I still like it either way.
Little SGP in the 3-way.
Yeah, little SGP and then 1 extra added on. I got Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown. I mean, I feel like it's gonna be a while.
Do you have the odds for that as well, or not? No.
Yeah, it's in here. That's minus 165.
Okay.
Then we're gonna ride this wave like I was talking about earlier. Derek Carr 2+ passing touchdowns at plus 100.
2+ TDs.
Yep, 2+ passing touchdowns. I mean, like I said, he's just been a god. He'll probably be a god for at least 2 more weeks until he comes down to earth.
Oh yeah. And what's the odds on that?
Plus 100.
Oh, it's plus 100.
Yeah, yeah, that's why I felt good. And watching Darius Slay didn't even look like he tried to cover Drake London on that game-winning touchdown.
No.
So if that's what the Eagles secondary is going to be, 2 or 3 are going to Rashid Shaheed.
Yeah.
And coming back to your Panthers-Raiders game, I got Jacoby Myers over 3.5 receptions at plus 100 as well.
Over 3.5. I feel like Jacoby's been kind of quiet this year.
He has been quiet, and I feel like this could be. They're playing the Panthers, so I feel like this could be a breakout game for them. They haven't really been using the running game a whole lot. I think Gardner Minshew is top 3 in passing yards. If I'm not
It's
mistaken.
crazy because he's another guy who's lighting it up but having terrible fantasy numbers.
Right, yeah.
It's crazy.
He's throwing the ball a lot, so I don't see why Jacoby Myers can't get 4 catches.
What was the odds of that? The plus? Did you say plus 105?
Plus 100 as well on that by itself. The odds of the parlay together is plus 496.
It's not terrible. I'd take that.
Not terrible. No, not bad.
There's in my DK betting group. There's some kid who does like 3-leg parlays all the time, but like the highest parlay I've ever seen him do is like plus 250. I'm like, what's the point? What is the point? Just solo bet all 3 of them.
Yeah, I had I did a touchdown score in every 1 o'clock game parlayed together.
Oh boy,
this was the biggest 1 o'clock window of the season with 10 games.
It's the only one too. The only 10-game window.
It was $5 to win 70 grand. It did not hit.
Oh my, yeah. I wouldn't expect you to be on the show if that hit. But yeah, you probably would have went right up to your wife and be like, "We're going on vacation."
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I do like that parlay. I think that is a good parlay. So I'm excited to see how those are gonna go and see where the gambling payroll is at after this week, because I think at least three of these 4 between bet of the week and the parlays. I feel like at least three of these are gonna hit.
For sure, yeah.
So that's gonna be really good. Well, yeah. Is there any matchup you're looking forward to this week?
I mean, one that'll be interesting, just from a football stance, not betting or anything, is I think the Ravens and the Cowboys, because they're 2 teams that have kind of definitely talented teams, but that have underachieved.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what happens in that game. It's in Dallas, and the Ravens are 1-point favorites, so it's basically just pick who you want in that game. But I think it could be a good battle that game to see who comes out on top of that one.
Yeah, that's I wish my computer would load because Google's just not loading up the.
On the flip side, one I don't want to watch is the Steelers and the Chargers. The Steelers have probably played the most boring football I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to use my damn phone because Google's just not loading for me. Is Google broken?
Fact is that the Bears Colts quarterbacks combined, 44 years old combined. The what was it? Utah versus Oklahoma State quarterbacks age combined 49.
Really? That's hilarious.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think Texans-Vikings could be sneaky game of the week.
Yeah, that could be a good one.
Packers-Titans, I feel like will be a snooze fest. Dolphins.
Steve Willis revenge game, dude. I'm nervous.
No, you're right. You forgot about the revenge game. Hey Malik, why didn't you throw on the 3rd down? Because my center puked on the ball.
That's crazy.
And you go back and watch it, you're like, oh, he actually did.
Yeah, good for him for even touching the ball.
Yeah, I would just let it fumble and just like land on it.
Yeah, exactly.
One game I do kind of want to highlight for this upcoming week is Niners-Rams. I do think the Niners get right. The Rams have, Puka, Cooper Kupp, Kyron. They're both of their outside tackles. I think one of their guards got hurt as well.
I think they have 4 offensive linemen out, if I'm not mistaken.
Like
they had 4 out this past week.
It could be a 20-7 game for all we know. I think Niners D is going to have a lot of points, but at the same time, I have Niners and Buffalo D, and I'm just like, I don't know who to play this week because
that is tough.
there's like, I feel like both teams are going to ball out, but like no one wants to do a trade for a defense.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it is just like
Bills D is. I mean, they got a good matchup, but they'll be tough to start down the stretch because they lost their entire secondary in free agency.
Yeah.
Milano's out, I think, for the year. I think he tore a bicep or something.
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, they looked even before the Tua injury, they looked good.
Yeah, but they gave up a lot of points to the Cardinals in week 1 too. So.
Yeah, I think that was just a week 1 fluke.
Yeah, we'll see,
But yeah,
they don't have a lot of names on that team anymore.
Hopefully the Lions figure it out on offense too. They're facing Cardinals. Cardinals have, just generally speaking, don't really have a defense. So hopefully, they might lose again. But hopefully it's
That
just
could be
like,
an exciting game.
yeah,
There's a lot of
hopefully
points.
it's like a 41-33 game. You know what I
See a
mean?
lot of points, but I do like the moves that the Lions made on defense this offseason too.
Yeah.
So they do have kind of a good D.
No, you're right. But hopefully their offense figures it out. That's the biggest scare if you have any ownership on the Lions, like me with
Yeah.
Jared Goff.
It's not even. They just got to get in the end zone. They move the
Yeah.
ball perfectly fine. They gain a ton of yards.
Goff
They
needs to
just
stop
get in the end
throwing.
zone.
It's Rams, like LA Rams Jared Goff again. He drives him
Yeah.
down the field, throws a pick. Like
Yeah,
it's just
pretty
he's
much.
doing that again. It's just like, what are you doing, Goff?
Yeah.
But I don't know. It should be a good slate of football this week for sure. I mean, you get double Monday night, so that's really cool. I'm glad that's back.
Yeah, that'll be different. Thursday night football over the next like 4 straight weeks is all divisional matchups.
I think
is
that's
pretty
how it
cool.
started off
Not-
because Bills Dolphins divisional.
Yeah.
Week 1 you can't really count,
Right.
but because that's just the Super Bowl winner.
Yeah.
And
I
then
think
you-
it's like the next 4 or 5 straight weeks from
Cowboys
week 2 all in all.
Giants,
Yep.
Bucks Falcons,
Yep.
Niners Seahawks, Broncos Saints. Week 7 is the first one. But those
Sean
are
Payton revenge game.
yeah, Sean Payton revenge game. And then you have Vikings Rams, which is gonna be interesting.
Ugh, that might be. I mean, if the Rams keep on this path, though, that might be ugly.
It could, yeah. But yeah, I don't want to look too far ahead in the schedule.
Right.
But we'll get to those as the cast goes along.
Yeah. A good Thursday night football is my point. There's good Thursday night football.
Yeah,
games.
absolutely. I think
Star Ford,
I think
Cincinnati.
tomorrow night's gonna be a sneaky good game.
Yeah. I don't think there will be a lot of fireworks, but I think it'll be closer than.
Although
expected.
the Pats did lose Jawan Bentley for the year.
Yeah.
But Keon White's been looking really good this season.
I think he. No overreaction here, but I think he might be the next Aaron Donald.
Oh, it's funny because you know what they comped him to in the draft when he like 2 years ago, right?
Is that who? Aaron Donald?
No, Matt Judon.
Really? I don't feel like they seem like similar players at
They
all.
comped his play style as Judon, but his physique like a hybrid Aaron Donald.
Oh my god, yeah, he's a monster. He's
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah, so it's just funny because they said, I think it was like Mel Kiper who's like he's like he plays like Judon but has a build like Aaron Donald. He's gonna be a threat, and he essentially is replacing Aaron Donald. I mean Judon.
I'm saying.
He's essentially replacing Matt Judon, who we got rid of. So it's like I don't know. I think it's gonna be a good one. I don't know if the Patriots are gonna win. I mean, because it is in East Rutherford, but
Yep.
I think it'll be another good one, just like the Pats Falcons game. I think I think they're like a 5-7 win team, the Patriots, but I think they're gonna be fun 5-7 win team.
Yeah, they'll be sneaky. I think they'll be able to keep it close.
Yeah.
Rodgers may figure it out down the stretch, but he's been rusty still through 2 weeks.
I mean, they're gonna rely on the run game. Brees Hall, Braylon Allen, those guys
I was
are
gonna say,
dominant.
talk about another guy that's a monster, Braylon Allen. That guy's scary.
He's only 20.
I know.
He's gonna be in the league for a while.
Fake ID.
Yeah, no, honestly. Hopefully they don't win the division. He's gonna have to celebrate in the hallway with his ginger ale.
Yeah, with sparkling apple cider.
But yeah, no, it's dude, I think we just talked for about 50 minutes nonstop, and we covered so much ground, and
yeah.
it's just like we could keep going, but you know me, I don't like to go more than 50 minutes to an hour
Yeah.
on the shit.
No one wants to listen to us for 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly. I think 50 minutes to an hour is a perfect time. I'm excited to see how this week goes. I think we had a great conversation. I mean, great answers. Nothing where I was like, really, that's kind of an odd pick.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you coming on as usual. I
Appreciate
won't
you having me.
I won't see you again until week 11 on the show.
All right. Well,
So-
yeah, that's about 8 weeks.
Yeah,
8
so
weeks in between.
We'll
Solid.
we'll see how everything goes. It's gonna be a minute. I do have an opening week 7, the week of October 16th. So if you're fiending to come back on, you can let me know. I know with the work schedule, you being open till 6 now, we don't chat on the phone as much,
Yeah, true.
which kind of stinks because I'm like when I go to leave and I'm like, who am I gonna call tonight? And I was like, oh wait, he's probably still working, so I just try to figure it
Yeah.
out. But yeah, no, I appreciate you being on the show as always. Had a blast talking to you about just football. It's fun. Before we go, Your matchup. How you projected in your matchups this week?
Let's take a look real quick. Let's see how I'm looking. My high school league, which is the most bragging rights right now, I got a 54% win chance. I mean, we'll see what Tyreek Hill can do with Skylar Thompson. I think that's kind of my X factor
Yeah,
in that
you
game.
gotta hope he breaks a slant route or something.
Yeah. Here's actually, here's my one start sit question that I've been debating on so far this week.
Let me
It's actually my two duds because I don't really have anybody else.
let me.
It's either Tank Dell or DeAndre Swift.
I'd go Tank Dell.
Tank Dell
He's
against
a better
Minnesota.
chances to break something.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. Because otherwise, I mean, I got P Ryan, but I don't know who's gonna play more in that
yeah,
Kansas City backfield. Jaden Reed is tough. He's questionable, and Malik Willis throwing him
yeah,
the ball. Josh Palmer hasn't done anything. Josh Downs hasn't done anything, and he's been hurt. So
yeah. I
those two are my best options.
I feel you. I'm hurting right now in my high school league, the one where I'm the 3-time champ.
Yeah.
My lineup is Goff, Rasheed Rice as of right now, Nico Collins, Brees Hall, Jerome Ford, Dallas Goddard, Aaron Jones as of right now, Carlson and San Fran D. My bench, which is just non-existent because it's Debo, Njoku, and then I also have Khalil Herbert, Luke McCaffrey, Jalen Naylor, and Buffalo D. So Naylor, I might have to plug in for Nico Collins or Aaron Jones if either of them cannot go. But hopefully, because I mean Nico Collins didn't show any signs of being hurt during the game, and then he just did not practice due to hip and foot.
Yeah, I
So
don't have any stock in him, so I didn't even realize that.
yeah, and then Aaron Jones, who did get kind of banged up a little bit, he has a hip issue, but we'll see how he goes. It's against Houston, so that'll be interesting. Obviously, Nico Collins is against Minnesota, so it's in a dome though, so one of them might go or both.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll see, but yeah, I have a 61% odds favorite to win. But I'm a little nervous because he's got some guys who might. I mean, he's got Derek Carr, Shaheed, Demarcus Robinson, JT, Kyron, Brock Bowers, Brian Robinson, Fairbairn, and Green Bay. So those guys all like that lineup could be sneaky good this week.
Green Bay's D is gonna get lit up. 4 touchdowns from Will Levis.
Whoa, that's a bold prediction. But all right, well, Jake, best of luck in your matchups this week. And
too.
once again, thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate it as always. But have a great rest of your night. Tell the family I said hi, and enjoy football this week.
Absolutely, you too.
All right, dude. I'll see you around.
See ya.
All right, everyone. That is going to be it from me. Hope you guys all have a great one. I will see y'all next week.